This is a CBC podcast.
Well, 15 New Brunswick high school students had a chance this week to showcase their work on the national stage. A Canada-wide science fair was held virtually this year. The event brings together the country's top young scientists and gives them a platform to showcase their work, maybe win some awards. We've reached two participants from Fredericton High School. Amanda Zhang and Cynthia Tsoi are students in grade 12 at Fredericton High, and they're on the line. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Cynthia, if I can begin with you, I understand you won an award for your project. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about it? It's an app, I understand.
Yeah, so it's an app that shows the user the predicted water level and the risk level associated with the area, with the location that they pick.
Okay. Tell me more about how you developed that. I understand you had done a previous project that was similar.
Yeah, so basically I improved upon my previous prediction model, and I used the function that I got from that and implemented it into my mobile app, and I used Java to code that app, and then I also developed a visualization application to use for users to use on web, like desktop computers and stuff like that. And that was also a part of my previous project, but I also improved that. So now it previously had a resolution of 10 meters, and it currently has a resolution of 1 meter.
Well, that's impressive. So
It
sounds like you really improved it. What was the area that you mapped?
So I mapped the Fredericton area.
Makes sense. You live in Fredericton. Why was this something that you were in particular interested in?
Well, I'm from Fredericton, and I grew up here. So I've seen the effects that flooding has on our community firsthand. The 2018 flood in particular was what inspired me to do my project. So basically I wanted to help my community become more resilient to a natural disaster that we face on a yearly basis.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on how an app like this might be used?
Well, I think it could be used by homeowners to assess the risk of property before they buy it, or by insurance companies as well for risk assessment. It can also be used just to generally raise awareness for high-risk areas for the general public as well.
Very useful. Now, Amanda, I know you that also designed an app to work on a completely different problem. Can you describe your app and what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea behind my app is it's a sustainable spending app. So what that means is it's looking at your spending through an environmentally conscious lens. We often think of our consumption and our spending just towards more of a financial approach, but it's been shown that we are actually spending way more than we need to when we're consuming a lot of products, which is actually really harmful for the environment. So the focus of my app is just to be more conscious of where you're spending your money and if you really need to be having those negative effects on the environment.
Interesting. So how does it work? Does it track your spending, or do you input it?
Yeah, so you would have to input your spending, and it would sort it into a category, and then you can kind of input your goals as well, and it'll tell you, what areas are particularly harmful to the environment, and kind of just track the goals so you can visualize them that way.
Why was this an issue that you really wanted to tackle with your project?
So I took an environmental science class this year, and we looked a lot at, our current consumer fueled industry where things are being produced at such a rapid pace. And what that does is it creates so much waste. And obviously this waste has really negative effects on our environment. So my idea was just to make the consumer more conscious of what they're spending and give them that kind of awareness that their money and the things that they're purchasing really do have an impact on our environment. Really
thoughtful. Cynthia, have you been part of the Canada-wide science fair before?
Yes, I went in 2019. Yeah.
What do you make of the level of project that you'll see at something like this? I mean, it's really quite incredible. Just listening to both of you talk about your projects, they're incredibly impressive.
Yeah, thank you. The level of projects at the Canada-wide Science Fair is honestly very high. It's amazing that so many young people are so interested in science and that they're pursuing a lot of their passions and finding innovations in it as well. So the projects are all very impressive. Sometimes you meet someone and they talk about your project and you have no idea what they're talking about because it's just at such a high level.
Amanda, have you been before as well?
Nope, this is my first time actually.
And what did you think of it for your first time? Were you able to, I mean, this was different because it's a virtual science fair this time, but were you able to connect with people across the country about their projects?
Yeah, I think they did a really good job at, trying to create a virtual experience that's engaging, and it does allow you to connect with people across the country, which is really nice because that's hard to do through a virtual platform. But yeah, I had a great experience. I found it very informative, and I was able to make some nice connections, which is awesome.
Excellent. And is your project something that you hope to pursue outside of the science fair, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it has the potential to, really inform people on what their spending really means. And, I think the issue is important. So it's important for me to try and continue and further my research in that area.
Now, you're both in grade 12. So, Cynthia, what are your plans after graduation? What will you be doing in the fall?
So I'll be starting my first year of engineering at the University of Alberta.
Excellent. Excellent. Do you have any sense of what kind of engineering you'd like to get into?
I'm thinking of going into mechanical engineering. It does stuff with thermodynamics, and that really interests me right now.
And Amanda, what are your plans?
I'm going to be going to the University of Toronto, and I'm studying commerce.
Commerce. So not science, but perhaps
No.
science related. I don't know. Maybe you'll be selling apps. I don't know. All right. Well, listen, congratulations to you both for your very hard work and your impressive showing at the science fair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be interested to see what happens to you both in the coming years. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Amanda Zhang and Cynthia Tsui are grade 12 students at Fredericton High School. They were two of the 15 New Brunswick students who participated in this year's Canada-wide Science Fair. The Science Fair was held virtually this year. You can see more online if you're interested at youthscience.ca.
For more CBC podcasts, go to cbc.ca/podcasts.